All right, got something else to show you. So I just had a game crafter order come in where I opened the gnome pack just before this. But the other thing I got, one of the other things that I got was this, referred to as the Omniscient Oracle. So you can see this is a fat stack of cards and this one large, I guess, kind of a, I don't know what I would call this. Because it's seemingly, I know I'm going to need to read more about it, but it looks like it's kind of a fate chart here, if you're familiar with that concept. But at the top there's also some numbers. That's the part that's throwing me a little bit as to what they are meant to be used for here. But this is what I got. I didn't see there was an explanation necessarily how to use them, but on the website, there are some potential details. So before I get too much into it, so this product, as I mentioned, is called the Omniscient Oracle. This is by a gentleman named Antonio E. Diaz. Again, you can find this on the Game Crafter if this ends up being something you would like to purchase or look into. It is referenced as its requirement says you need 90 minutes to 120 minutes to use this, 1 to 6 players, ages 12 plus. But I think you just arbitrarily filled some of this details in because this is an Oracle deck. This is meant for you to actually use for, role playing. Really, I would imagine anywhere that you need or would want to be able to use or need, general questions answered, or scenarios, or objects, or potentially NPCs, names and things like that. But that was kind of part of the curiosity here. I didn't know too much what would be included with it. But I am actually pulling up the instructions. So there is a 12-page PDF that you can download and print out that relates this, that then explains how to go through and use it. I'm not going to go through it specifically with you guys. It's loose enough here that I should be able to, I think we'll just be able to make sense of these cards without it. But we'll see. If I need to reference it, I do have it up in front of me here. So we're going to skip this card for now. I'm going to move this aside. I believe it kind of serves its own purpose, but we're going to go ahead and open the cards. They do not slide out, so we're going to rip it. All right. So on the back of these, we have different classifications or categories. So happenings is the first one here. It looks like these actually may be, no, they are random. So let's go ahead and separate these really quick. And we'll look at the different categories. So we have happenings, things, happenings. All right, I gotta be careful. These are very close in their stylings here. Happenings, things, attitude and reactions. Set those down. Let me go ahead and zoom out here. More happenings, lots of happenings. Things. Okay. So we have two primary categories here. We have things and happenings, and it looks like just one extra card, attitude and reactions. So that's a total of 4 different overall cards and types. So what does we have here? Unfavorable, neutral, favorable. Okay, so this is like a very simplistic fate chart here, I would imagine. We would go into that, but let's look at actually the content here. So part of the listing or the description of the product points out that a lot of times, if you get a D100 system or a lot of these other DM or Oracle books or cards or dice, there's a lot of different ways to go about it. A lot of the explanations or the solutions or answers you're given are relatively generic. In many cases, it's kind of difficult to use them in an advantageous way within your scenario, right, or your game. So this is supposed to potentially help with that. So here, I'll just read the description and let Antonio explain how he describes the product. So it says, you pull out your favorite 8-page D1000 list, anxious to determine the two most inspirational random words ever, squid and ivory. Now come up with a clever reason for your long-awaited use of a basilisk bursting in on your player's celebratory dinner party. Sarcasm aside, lists and charts are very useful for role-playing games, but do tend to bog things down, including the vibe, it says. Not to mention, it takes a good deal of practice to turn 2 or 3 words into a cohesive narrative, especially on the fly. Omniscient Oracle removes a lot of that randomness and random generation and streamlines the creative decision-making process. It's a simple, efficient, and effective game master emulator for just about any tabletop role-playing game. It also caters to both group and solo play. Comprised of 2 decks totaling more than 70 unique cards, Omniscient Oracle can be used to answer just about any game-related question. Then just gives us some pictures here. So, there is another section here. Each card is an expedient resource of unique ideas for generating and resolving things. That said, player creativity and input are vital for this to work. Happenings can answer anything involving events, interactions, and combat, while things is for generating characters, locations, items, and in-game info. Use it as a GM supplement, a solo engine for your favorite game, or even as a writing tool for new ideas. The rules, guides, lists, and trackers are meant to be adjusted and used according to your needs. It's your game, after all. Please note, Omniscient Oracle is meant to supplement an existing tabletop role-playing game, not be a standalone game. So there he says it. And our specific list is we have 1 jumbo. It's called, I guess it just says jumbo deck. Oh, this is just the size of the card. Okay, so we get 1 of these, and there are 35 happenings and 35 thing cards. It says that we get 1 cube. Oh, there was 1 white cube. Okay, so I got a white cube. It's a long story. I thought this was a cube because I got some other pieces, and I thought they just said this separate. But it came with 1 cube, which must be for our tracker here to say, where we're at in favorability for our rolls here. I'm gonna go ahead and take our cube out. So we got this here. All right, so let's look at the cards themselves and see if Antonio was correct. Whoops, great. Let's make a big pile of these real quick. All right, so his point is, and I would agree with him, that a lot of these decks or books of roll tables, decks of items, right? There's a million ways that people have tried to address this, I'll just say problem, right, or situation within role playing, and he's attempting to flesh these out a little bit. So I would expect to see more than just random words strung together is the point, I believe. So let me see if I can zoom in a little more here. Nope. Oh, there we go. Now it's working. So there are some icons here at the top. Looks like land. This is items. This is characters. Okay. So we can see here, number 1, it says whiz, favorable, actor, escape one's destiny, desperation, sniffs random things, air vacuum, ruins, armory, bang, bang, rancid, something disturbing, out of place object, aircraft, drastic event. Okay, So again, this is the things deck. So these are things. Shooter, favorable. Okay, so these are hard table cards. So all they have are just a ton of described, again, things, types of things, people, places, and things. I guess to put it that, people, place. But yeah, let's just look through some of these here. Fame, fear, cloudy campsite, basement chimes, gamey. I'm guessing that's like the smell, gamey smell. A container is a drastic event, a barrel, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's the numbers. Let me see what the PDF says around the legends here on the side. See if it speaks to those. So I'm curious about the numbers. Things, cards, good, evil. It just says what they are. So just to go through it, it does actually say, so the first one is the character type, right? So like what type of person is this? So their characteristics, I believe, is the idea we have here. The next one is an attitude. What type of attitude does this individual have? The third one is their trade. What is their what is their profession? After that is this their it says good or evil motive. So I think this is essentially their so it's their motivation. So this person's motivation is fame. And their quirk is, wait, I have 6 here and there's only 5. Interesting. Is that a mess up? The PDF only gives 5. Fear, quirk. Interesting. This may be a typo in his. Did I get this wrong? No. Okay. Well, I don't know, but it's the PDF is missing a line here. From as far as I can tell, the blue section, it only gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different descriptions. It is actually not telling me what this last one is. Constantly in a rush. I'd say that's like a fault, right? Or they're some type of handicapped potentially. If we look at some of these others, I would agree. Never laughs or smiles, criticizes everything, very prideful. Yeah, so those are like flaws or faults, it would seem. Below that, we have this green section, as it says that it's the locations. So we have the first one is the actual environment. What is the environment like? In this case, cloudy. The next one is a large feature. What is the primary feature of this location? That it is a campsite. A small feature, secondary or smaller feature of a location or area is a basement. Then we have chime. So this is a sound. The next one is smell. So gamey was a smell. And the last one is the sight, something demoralizing. Okay. The last section we have here, it says that it's called findings in yellow. And the first one is an item type. So container, and it's item discovery, manner in which the item was found, drastic event. Third one is an object type, barrel. So that's interesting. They have item type and object type. It's a slight differentiation, but there. Then the next one, it says object discovery, smell of it. So that was how they discovered it. Was the smell. Potential reward. This is the info type. And the last one says info discovery, manner in which the information was found. Drastic event. Oh, cool. So of course, these are not meant for you to say, oh, I'm trying to build a character, therefore I'm going to draw one of these cards and then this is my character. That's not necessarily, I mean, I guess you could potentially do that. My point being is these are not meant to go together drastic, right? So if you were to say as the object was jewelry and how did you discover it? Oh, you smelled it, right? That hopefully that wouldn't happen. If your jewelry smells, you've got a big problem with that jewelry. I don't think I would want that jewelry if it's managed to smell, right? But you could have one of these. You know that you need to pull a thing. Again, person, place, or object. you may know that, okay, I'm planning on, approaching a location. What type of location am I going to approach? You could take this card and we would say, oh, it's a dirty. And what is its major location? It's a river. So we are at a dirty river. We could use some of these, right? We could say that there's a woodsy smell if we felt that was appropriate for the scenario here. Or we may say, we want to pull another card for the smell or some other attribute there, and you can just pull another card. All right, makes sense. Oracle deck, right? So that's the things. Let's take a look at the happenings here. So happenings. We have, again, 3 categories. These look a little bit different, not just in the coloring, but they're actually set up a little bit differently here. So I'm going to pull the PDF up so I can explain these correctly. All right, so the first one that we have here, it says that it is, so in the orange section, this first one is our task. So we have task, theme, encountered entity, mechanical effect, the plot twist, and the restriction. So in this case, we have detain a hostile target. This is the task. This is the player's goal, it says, for any given event. So if you're trying to, come up with a side quest or something potentially for your character, your group, that's what this section would be here for. So the theme, so we have detaining a hostile target. The theme here, the topic in which influences or causes the plot line is equipment. So you'd want to integrate some type of equipment, maybe defect or something like that, or something breaking for here. The third one, it says, is the encountered entity. So a random thing or monster or NPC encountered by the players. And it says a really odd creature. That's very vague, but of course, sometimes that's a good thing. The next one we have here, it says mechanical effect caused by or affecting an event. NPC death. So an NPC has died, and that's what causes that next trigger within the event system of your adventure there. Plot twist, less to do than previously thought. Less to do than previously thought. So maybe you thought something was going to be your smoking gun, and then it turns out, it wasn't the person you expected it to be, or something along those lines. And the last one is the restriction. It says situation or circumstances that may affect the actions of players, NPCs, or monsters. It says unstable surface. That's cool. Okay. So the next one is interactions, and the categories here, it says, are favorable NPC, a neutral NPC, unfavorable NPC, a reaction, adjust attitude, and icebreakers, or icebreaker single. So we've got answers beneficially with iffy info, answers beneficially with a question, answers beneficially with an iffy info. Are these all the same then? Yes. No, close. They're similar to each other. Hostile with hostile. Okay, some of these are the same. So I guess this would be you would, let's see, how an NPC with a favorable attitude would respond. Some of these, so I'm just staggering here because of the, some of these are the same. This is by word for word the same. So I know this is just supposed to mean this particular card would be harder, so you just would not get the favorable event if you were to pull that card. I think that's what this is saying. We have adjust attitude underneath that, or whoops, I skipped over the reaction. How an NPC's attitude changes towards the players. Delighted, impartial. And the next one is adjust attitude. Yes or no. If the NPC has a reaction to the player's inquiry. And the last one is directing the conversation, which is the icebreaker. Verbal event or manner in which the players become aware of a interesting or insightful important conversation may be initiated between multiple NPCs or players. Okay. And this last section is around combat. And it says priority target. So this would, I would imagine, if you're playing from the GM's perspective and you're wanting to play from the bad guys roles, you would say who this person's, what they are targeting. So you can see this changes each time. Who has the highest HP? Which one is the closest? And I guess those are the two main determiners. There's probably got to be a couple more than that, right? Highest HP, closest, highest HP. Is that really the only two? Closest, brute. Okay, so there's a few here. So that's the target. Next is the NPC tactic, how an adversary character group or characters are postured when initiating combat. Farthest whiz, farthest shooter. Okay. The next one is injured area. So we have injured area, specific areas in the character's body movement. Injured area. Farthest whiz. Head on. Closest. This doesn't quite line up, I don't think. Injured area. I think this means the actual last one. Maybe these are out of order on the instructions on the PDF. Because it says priority target, NPC tactic, injured area, and fail morale check. There's just 4 here. I may need to send this guy an email and ask him to update his PDF. Looks like he may be missing a few things here. Maybe it's, I don't know. Yeah, so it looks like we may be missing some details here for this red section, because there's 6 again and I only have 4. So highest HP, so this may be the target, retreating, upper appendage. So it does have the target area, it's just we're missing some of these others, so I don't know what these others are, fortunately. So, but I think it's just a matter of him needing to update the PDF there. But that's essentially what I wanted to go over. Hopefully this deck does come in handy for me. I plan on adding it to the collection I have for stuff like this. This product was relatively cheap considering how many physical cards you get. I believe this was like 14. Let's see. No, it was around $20. But you get 72 cards plus this. And for what you get and the amount of options you get, I think it's a decent price. But we need to get that PDF updated so that they're fully usable here, and you know what to be able to. We're able to call these different things here. So that's really everything that I wanted to show. I figure I'd not seen anyone else covering this product on Game Crafter. So if you were interested in this, you can go pick this up off of Game Crafter, created by Antonio Diaz. But yeah, that's it. Appreciate it. Hope this helped, and you guys have a great day, and I'll see you next time.